Cassie, it was so nice of you to be with us today. We're really glad to have you.
It was great sharing the story with all the children and you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I understand that you were at the Capitol Crawl as well. And so I'm wondering, did you know Jennifer beforehand? Were you near her?
I met Jennifer a little bit. I was pretty new to Adopt. So I knew her. I knew her mother a little better. And she was a really fired up little girl. She had a lot of energy in her. And her mom had a lot of guts at the time. There weren't too many parents out there back then.
So Cassie, tell me, whose idea was it to crawl up the Capitol steps?
Stephanie Thomas. And at first I was a little reluctant about it because I didn't understand. But when she explained to me that it was symbolic to breaking through doors and getting places that we couldn't go normally, I was all for it.
How did the Capitol Crawl influence the passing of the ADA, do you think?
I think people could see, yeah, we can't walk up steps. Steps are a barrier to us. This isn't people just complaining, it's a real barrier. All of a sudden, a lot of people that never stepped up before stepped up. Seeing something, experiencing it, it can change how you are. I mean, I know a lot of people have changed towards how they feel about disability through meeting somebody with a disability or through being in action. So, because we look different. And even when we don't look different, there's prejudice against us because of, policies at work or barriers. So, getting those steps were symbolic to everything. So fight against that hate and fight for humanity. That's how we're going to change the world. When the world changes for everybody, it's going to change for the better. But if anybody's inconvenienced out here, we're all inconvenienced.
You were in a wheelchair that day, is that correct?
Yes.
So, and did you participate? You crawled up the steps yourself?
Yes.
How did your wheelchair get to the top?
That's the amazing thing. I have no idea. But it got up there. And you can bet it wasn't a that person that took it up there. And, we're like a family, and all the things that are supposed to happen in real life in a good society, we find usually does happen at Adapt. Because that chair was right there when I got up. I didn't have to look or nothing. And there were a million chairs up there, but there seemed to be somebody up there who knew everybody's chair, who could get them right to it. I don't know how it all works out, but it just does. When people are determined and they all believe in the same things, a lot can get done.
So tell me, I heard you use the term nonviolent direct action. What does that mean?
It means like we'll block a road, stop cars from going through. We'll take over meetings. We might throw something that can be washed off on a wall, but it's not going to leave any damage. There's a lot of things we might do, but we never get violent. We never strike anybody, and we never hit anybody back. And when the cops start getting a little rough, usually groups start shouting, "The whole world is watching, shame on you," to try to diffuse it.
So the ADA got passed. Did it change anything?
Oh, everything. I mean, for me, I probably wouldn't have had a baby. Because there would be so few things I could do with her. Not that the ADA said I could have a baby, because it has nothing to do with that, but it's just the world opened up. I could go to restaurants, I could go to movies, I could go shopping, I could go to most malls. Before the ADA, I couldn't do a lot of things.
So how does the ADA work?
And that's another part of the ADA. We're our own enforcers. And that's hard. We have to police it ourselves. And there's still a lot of issues. So it's hard when not only do you have to continue to fight for new issues, but you have to continue to fight to keep what you got. And it's hard to keep your eyes on everything. And that's why I believe in the multi-pronged approach, where you use policy, activism, advocacy. You use it all, legislation. lawyers, activists, whatever it takes to make the change. And the more of it, the better for whatever issue. I think we're in some rough times now, so I expect that the disabled people will do some big things. But we need all of you. We need the teachers, the students, the parents. We need all of you in our movement to make a better world where everybody's included. Because every child who hears this story has had an experience where they've been excluded, and it hurts. And I know there's probably not one child in the world that hasn't been excluded once or twice in their life. But for disabled people, that can happen every day of the week. Still does for some. So, this is the difference that ADAPT wants to make. We want to make an integrated world where people can be served based on what they need. Nobody should ever be called useless, especially by a disabled person or anybody else. Because it's not about what you do, or it's about getting it done and how it gets done. And it's about being alive and having a right to this life. And so nobody should be considered expendable, and disabled people have in many societies.
What was your biggest memory of the day?
With my friends, celebrating all the hard work. I mean, ADAPT is like such a family, and we only get together every 6 months, and I think we live for that. I'm 65 years old, and it feels like I'm 10. I mean, because ADAPT, I live for every 6 months, and that keeps your life just spinning. Because 6 months comes pretty quick, especially when you have to raise money for it. Mm-hmm. So I live from one ADAPT action to another ADAPT action. And I still kind of do, even though I'm sick and I might not make them all. I still like to think I will. But I believe in good trouble. I think you have to get in good trouble, like John Lewis says. I'm sure Martin Luther King didn't want to mess around on the bridge too much. It was a scary thing. But they had to do what they had to do. And we have to do what we have to do. And, if you're not an activist type, that's okay. We need letters written to politicians. We need lobbying. We need people to visit Congress on a regular basis. There is so many needs. So just talk to somebody about what they might be good at and what they might be able to do to help the movement. But we need people inside and we need people outside to make the kind of change that disabled people are going to need.
Thank you so much for joining us, Cassie. This was so enlightening, educational, and inspiring, actually, to think about all the ways that change can be made. I appreciated hearing that from you.
Thank you so much for being interested. Stay interested. Never exclude a person with a disability. Never exclude anybody. Have a good day and have some fun.